Alrighty, so I feel like I've done a fair bit of testing with the attack and crit damage set on Ludociel or Margaret, and I think we're going to try and mess around with the HP defense set today, and I kind of want to figure out which one might be the better option. Obviously, this gives us a lot more CC. I do have pretty much everything maxed out except for this weapon right here. I think I'm waiting on, yeah, a couple of more cosmetic upgrades and I'll have that done. But I do have all of her CC and stuff like that as high as I can get it, especially with this set. I'm pretty sure I have this set completely maxed out on 15s, and everything's pretty close as far as the base stats of the gear goes because I made this for my original Ludociel. So, we're going to be using the normal sort of basic team, and we're going to go in and see. We're almost at 300k CC, which is really high for me. I don't think I've ever quite hit 300k, but I think if I worked on maybe a little bit more of my gear for Droll, and maybe some of his cosmetics, or maybe even if I were to buy a couple of the outfit pieces or weapon pieces that I don't have for Death Pierce, I could probably hit 300k, which would be really interesting because I don't know, I don't consider myself to be like super whaley. Like, I don't, obviously Margaret's 1.6, this Green Gother's 2.6, and then I think I'm pretty sure Droll's actually like 4 or 5.6, just because I've gotten pretty decently lucky with him being on other banners and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I have potential to hit that, but let's see if she'll still end up putting out good numbers with an HP defense set. I'm honestly pretty curious at this point because I feel like people are either using, you know, the attack crit damage set, or I think some people are using HP and crit damage, which honestly isn't a bad idea either, but I would hate to have to like keep swapping my like individual pieces around and stuff like that. So I think if push comes to shove, I'll probably end up going for a the attack crit damage set. I think I just probably will end up preferring that a little bit more, just me as a player, because I'm a very offensive sort of player. So I think for us, I think we're just gonna go straight into these two cards. That'll be 3 extra buffs for our passive. We're going to get a lot of damage reduction and stuff like that from the level 3 here. And I think next turn we'll just try to go in on damage. So I know that there is a PvP rule as well. So you do more damage against type advantage, and then you do less damage against type disadvantage. So I'm really curious to see what we can hit here as far as damage goes. I could end up, I think I will actually use that rank up on her and use 2 gold cards, just for the fact that the buff, you know, the invasion arrow does count as a buff card, and obviously we can get 2 gold cards worth of damage out. Why wouldn't we? Plus, depending on who they have in the back, it's really not going to matter too much regardless. So looks like he's using attack. Nothing crazy. Kind of surprised he didn't do as much damage. Let's, I guess, try to end this. We'll see what we pull out here. So we've got 2 golds on the board. All right, very good. I didn't see what the damage was on that. Why wasn't I paying attention? All right, there's 446k just on 2 enemies. So I can only imagine that with blue Droll there, it was quite high, maybe like 700k or something. Maybe like 600k. But still pretty solid. I mean, that's obviously enough to get the job done either way. Maybe the attack, you know, crit damage set is just a little bit overkill, which I could definitely see being the case. I think let's go for, I don't have any Margaret cards to get her ultimate, unfortunately. I think we're just gonna rush ults here and try to petrify him, so that way he can't hit me here, and we can hopefully just burst him down with these ultimates. God almighty, we're doing so much damage. It's crazy, like, how much damage you do after using that Margaret buff. It's actually insane. I'm not sure if the video's coming out before or after this one specifically, but I just messed around with a team where you use Blue Easton with Margaret, and it was insanely crazy how much damage you could pull off with Blue Easton just using her little buff and getting that Margaret buff off. Like, it's absolute insanity. So, Alrighty, we've got our next match here. It is an assault mode team. I don't think I've actually gone against a decent assault mode team since Margaret has come out, so I'm kind of interested to see how this goes. Let's go for the upgrade like we normally do. We'll go for the taunt, and then I think we'll put out the dissolve to make sure that he can't rush ultimate or anything. I don't think he'll be able to get it first turn regardless, and we do give him a small buff here, but I'm fairly confident that we kill either way. So he does already have Sigurd's buffs on, so he's probably going to be hitting for quite a lot. Well, he's not using Melly's cards, which is kind of weird. I don't know if this is a bot or not. It could be. I feel like a smart man would have used Melly cards. I know we're going to have damage reduction from the rule in PvP right now, but I kind of want to see if we can get some quick damage out and try to just mess him up early. Yeah, it looks like we're fine. It's really ridiculous. That was almost 800k, which is pretty crazy. I mean, I've obviously got enough HP to tank quite a bit of stuff. I don't notice like too much of a difference, to be honest. Like, I mean, obviously we're not hitting quite as much numbers, but I feel like with this team specifically, Droll does a good job of tanking, and it doesn't seem to be too much of an issue. So I guess let's just finish this one off, and then we'll go to the next match. All right, got another match. We do have another assault mode team, which is pretty interesting. I wonder which Droll this is. Okay, it is blue Droll, so he has a taunt, which is pretty interesting. From what I understand, green Droll is a very good counter unit to Margaret, so I'm somewhat interested to see like if I can go up against one and how well he'll actually do, because I feel like it's kind of, it might not be that great. Because I honestly, like, I've used green Droll a little bit here and there, and I feel like most of the time I don't have a whole lot of luck using green Droll. Like, he doesn't do a whole lot of damage, even with his detonate card for me. Like, I don't know, I've never really been able to get good results out of it, personally. And then I could see his, like, buff disable card being good, but you have to have it at level 2 to use it. So not only do you have to rank him up or pull an extra one, it just doesn't seem ideal. So I don't know. It's a tough call. I think we're just gonna go ahead and do one more round of buffs, and then we'll probably just go for the kill on this next turn. Getting the level 3 on her is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's crazy that, like, I would assume that they made her to be ran with other, you know, goddesses, but it's so much more beneficial to just use rank up with her, I feel like. I don't know. We haven't really tested the other goddess units with her yet. I do plan on doing that probably soon, but I don't know. So far, nothing insane. Let's go for this to get a little bit extra. Then we'll finish off. I feel like I've won against Kruger before, maybe even recently. Well, almost 900k, and that was, I mean, obviously we had type advantage against Sigurd, but we had type disadvantage against Melly, and then type neutral on Droll, so interesting. But I guess we can go ahead and move to the next match. Okay, so we have a Bond team, and he has Easton on the team, and he's a pretty decent CC. I feel like I don't normally run against somebody around this CC-ish. But I have double Margaret card in hand, which is pretty good. I think we'll just do our normal thing. He's obviously going to be able to cleanse off the debuff, but I mean, it's either that or I go for the level 3. I think I want to try to keep that extra card in hand because even though I'm going to do type advantage against them and with the rule, I'm pretty sure I can kill them all with a level 3 card. There is that chance that it might not happen. So we should be pretty good here. Bond's not really going to be able to get too much off. If he doesn't cleanse, he's not going to be able to get his ultimate. So that is fine. I think let's just rank up on Margaret here, and then maybe... he doesn't have a way to take off my buffs at all, so I think we just throw this out, and we put the level 3 on, and then if we really need to, we can throw that extra buff at the beginning of next turn to help with the passive. But I mean, with him having buffs on, it's just going to make us hit even harder with Margaret's passive, so pretty good chance that he does not survive this at all. It's honestly, it's a really insane like meta at the moment. Like Margaret's nuts, Bond is pretty nuts as well, but it's crazy to think that as insane as Bond is and was, that he's gonna get shut down by this team. I don't have Gother's passive now at this point, so that is a little rough, but let's just go for one extra buff to help with the passive, and then we'll do double gold card. I'm interested to see if we kill here, because without the attack crit damage, I might not have as much damage. Yeah, I think Bond survives this. Yeah, he sure does. We did 972k, which is almost a mil on, I think, both of those. And he didn't die, which obviously Twiggo's still helping him with HP here. He gains a little bit back from his passive, but I don't necessarily know, unless he's 6'6", which he definitely could be. I don't know if he'll kill here. I'm interested to see that. I mean, if I lose, that's fine. He did literally that much damage with that ult. Are you kidding me? That I don't even know what to say about that. Because I didn't have a revive or anything. It was Death Pierce in the back. Alrighty then, I guess. Bond, I mean, obviously with this rule going on, Bond really doesn't stand too much of a chance against Margaret, with him doing, I think, 40% less damage on, you know, type disadvantage. So that was a rough matchup. Alright, we got another Margaret team, which is pretty interesting. He's got decently high CCs at 267. So I'm interested to see how this one goes. We can put 3 buffs out first turn, which is kind of nice. I almost wonder if I should... Because obviously it's an AoE skill. The only person who's not going to have an AoE skill is... Droll. But just in case, so he doesn't petrify me and take the buff off, I'm gonna taunt here instead. Because I think if I would have went for this, like, it would have been nice to have that damage reduction up, I guess, first turn. But just in case, he could literally just upgrade his Droll, or if he had lucky enough start, he could have just petrified me straight off the bat there, which would have been definitely a problem. So... I think the fact that he doesn't have up the damage reduction here, we can probably just wipe him this early. It might be pushing it a little too soon, but I think we're fine here. Yep, we get rid of his Margaret. And then, yeah, that's such a tough call, dude. You either put up the damage reduction early so that way you can't, you might not die, or you just I don't know. It's such a weird team. I don't know. Honestly, as far as the year goes, I have to say I think in that Bond scenario, we probably would have been able to kill Bond with both of those level 3s if we had the attack crit damage gear on. I think personally for me, I like the attack crit damage set more because I'm an offensive player, and I feel like if you misplay like that guy did and you don't have the damage reduction up first turn and they are going first, it's probably going to be a sure bet that you're going to lose even with the extra HP. So I think you should just try to go all out, maybe. Personal preference there, I guess. I don't know. Obviously, the unit's still kind of early on global. As I test it out, I may end up wanting to switch back, but from my experience so far, which, I mean, granted, it's not too much. Like, it's not like I'm a veteran at the game with this unit or anything like that, but I personally think I like the attack crit damage set more, just slightly. So yeah, even though it's going to give me a little bit more CC to run it with the HP defense set, I don't know. I don't think, I mean, where I'm at specifically, it's not like I'm going second to begin with. Maybe in higher tier gameplay, you might want to go for the attack or the HP set, and maybe even use the crit damage rolls on it, so that way when you do attack, you maybe get some more damage off. But yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit of experimenting, seeing whether or not it's what you specifically want or where you're at in PvP. I think there's just going to be a lot of different factors going into it. Like, I think that little bit of lack of CC isn't going to matter to me from where I'm at in PvP, but maybe if you're a much higher rank than me, you want to have that extra CC. So I think it just comes down to personal preference a little bit and, you know, circumstance. So for me, attack crit damage seems better for my scenario. So that's pretty much all I have to, you know, go over today. That's all I have for you, I guess. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the team, or what, you know, set you prefer, or, you know, what your scenario is and what works best for you, because I would love to hear it, because obviously I don't play very high tier PvP or anything like that, so I can't really speak from experience in that situation. So maybe, you know, somebody else might see a comment and it might help them out. So that's pretty much it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe for more content in the future, and I think next time we're going to try and test the team out with maybe the full Archangels team. I think that might be a little bit of fun. So yeah, see you then.